Hi, everybody. My name is Mrs. Boudreaux, but everyone calls me Mrs. B because it's a whole lot easier. I'm excited to start out the new school year with you, and I am looking forward to all of the learning we're going to do. And I have a presentation set up for you that I'm hoping will answer almost all of your questions. The presentation that I've created has lots and lots of links for you, and I'll be posting it. So you will be able to see it and click on all the links again. I'm going to try to walk you through everything so that I can answer as many questions as I can. All right, I'm excited to start this new year with you. Let's get started with the presentation. Okay, so let's get started with the presentation. And like I said, welcome back. I am Mrs. Boudreaux. This is the 2021 school year. And first, I want to go over anytime I send out some slides, there are going to be some really great features that I hope will help you use them. First, if you click on anything that is underlined, it's a link. It should take you to something else. So if you see things that are underlined, I always want you to try to click on those. Okay? Next, click on anytime you see this gray circle with the little speaker icon, click on that to hear messages from me. And at the bottom, you'll notice red arrows. When you see those red arrows, those will help take you back to other screens like a table of contents. So when you see those, make sure you can click on those and you will be taken back to a table of contents. All right, here's our first one. Let me click on it.
Welcome, students and families, to first grade. My name is Mrs. Boudreaux, but you can call me Mrs. B. This is an interactive slideshow presentation. So, on each slide, there may be things that you can click on to hear messages. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope it answers some of your questions about the new school year and first grade.
And I want to tell you a little bit more about myself, okay? So you have a chance to get to know me just a little bit. This is my 8th year teaching, and it's my 2nd year in first grade. I love to teach reading, math, science, and art, and this year I'll be focusing on the use of technology to help students learn even more. I want you to know that all summer I worked on my technology skills and I became a Google Level 1 certified educator. I believe parents play a vital role in your child's education, and I think of you as my partners, especially this year. I believe that all children have the right to feel safe and to learn in the classroom and at school. I have three children of my own. One is 15 years old, one is 21, and one is 23. I've been married for 25 years, and I have lived in Modesto for 27 years. That's a lot of numbers to share with you. I enjoy cooking, crafts, art, cycling, and watching movies. All right, well, now that you know a little bit more about me, I wanted to ask you, when you are looking at this presentation, click on these underlined words right here. Tell me about yourself. This is a Google form I created because I'd like to know more about you and your concerns for your child and any special information that you want to share with me. So please click on that link and fill out the form for me. Here is our table of contents. I'm going to be clicking on each one of these and going through the information. The first will be supplies, communication, information about birthdays, our schedule, distance learning rules, school rules, technology, and homework. So I'll be clicking on each one of those, but you'll be able to do the same thing when you have the presentation also. Let's start with supplies. Each student will be provided most of the essential supplies you need. However, some may need to be replaced during the middle of the year as the things get used up. All of the supplies that we're sending home with you on Monday cannot be returned back to the school, so you need to think of those as a gift. Our Parents Club has generously donated the money for us to be able to provide you more supplies than we normally would, in hopes that you have everything you need at home to do the schoolwork we're going to ask you to do. So I'll be sending home pencils, pencil box, a journal, crayons, whiteboard markers, erasers, and glue. So I hope you enjoy using those supplies and it's everything that you need. I will not be sending home scissors, so you need to have some of those available. I'm going to click on that red arrow and go back to the table of contents. So let's go to communication. There are lots of ways you can communicate with me. I do have a class website. You'll be able to click on the link, and when you do, it will take you to our website. So I'm going to click on that link. So here's our class website. Up at the top, you're going to see Welcome Back. Hope you had a great summer. And then there's a button that says My Must See Presentation. That's a button that links you back to this presentation that I'm going through with you right now. On the website, you see Home, Newsletter, Calendar, some distance learning information, resources, and our daily schedule. So I'm not going to go through each one of those with you now, but I will be sending you out a link so you can get to our class website. Also, you have a tech support available for students. Here is the website for student tech support. When you need help communicating, or you just need help setting up the Chromebook or logging into Clever or Google Classroom, I will be helping you as much as I can. However, it might be faster for you to get help from our tech support. Here is our Zoom meeting ID and password. These will always be the same. So I will be posting this in many, many places, but I encourage you to write this down and just keep it somewhere that's easy for you to find. We're going to use it every single day. Of course, you can always send me an email. Here's my email address. And of course, you can call the school office and leave a message. So I would encourage you to reach out to me by email would be the fastest way. And then you can also talk to each other with the parent group. You can check on our school. Let's talk a little bit about birthdays. This slide was created for when we were at school. So for birthdays, I just want to let you know, if you don't want your child's birthday to be celebrated, let me know and I will honor your wishes. Otherwise, we will sing happy birthday to the student or students whose birthday it is. And you can also let me know if there is a favorite book your child has, and I'll see if there's a way we can read that to the class on one of our Zoom calls. Okay? All right, let's go over the schedule. Our schedule will look the same on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday. So Wednesday is going to be a little bit different. And you can see the schedule here. On Monday, and actually every day, we'll have our morning meeting for all students from 8:20 to 8:45. Then we'll have a break, and then we'll come back at 9:10 and have our math lesson, 9:10 to 9:55. That's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And then language arts. Again, we'll have had a break and we'll come back and do our language arts lessons for that day, and that will be from 10:30 to 11:15. So if you take a look at Wednesday, it's a little bit different. It does not say math or language arts there. We're going to have some small group time, and I will let you know which small group your child needs to attend on those days. And then because we're not going to be live together on our Zoom calls, they'll have some additional independent work they'll need to do on those days. So we'll be watching for those assignments carefully. Okay, and again, here's my Zoom meeting ID and password at the bottom. And I just want to let you know that this schedule is what we have planned so far. Of course, there's a good possibility some things will change as we get used to the schedule and we find that we need to change anything. I'll be letting you know. Let's go back to the table of contents. And we have our distance learning rules. So on this slide, you're going to see all of our school rules for distance learning. We still want to be safe, responsible, and respectful, even when we're at home doing our learning. So we are going to follow each one of these rules, and I would like you to go back and read this and let me know on back to school night if you have questions about anything. But really, this will help your student be successful. If you go through each one of these and talk about them with your child, then it will help a lot when we start our Zoom calls to make sure that everybody can learn um, as much as possible when we're live together. So thank you for doing that in advance. Back on our table of contents, you're going to see a tab here that says School Rules. Those are our school rules for when we're actually on campus. So I don't need to go over those with you now. I'm going to leave them there, and when we do get to come back to school, we can go over them at that time. So just know that they're there if you want to go over them. Let's go ahead and take a look at technology. I think we probably have the most questions and concerns about that area, so I'm going to spend some time talking about that with you now. Here on this slide are many things that you can click on. For example, the online class expectations. A minute ago, we looked at the school rules for distance learning, and that screen was really set up for you to read and talk about with your child. But this is a poster I created that you can actually click on and show them the class expectations. So I want to go through that with you very quickly and just make a few quick comments. Um, Starting over here on the left, please be on time. If you can possibly log into those Zoom calls a minute or two early, and that would be great. I will be letting every student in through a waiting room. I ask that you keep yourself on mute while others are speaking or until I unmute you. We would like to continue to learn to raise your hand to talk. There will be times when I have the whole class unmuted, but I still would like students to raise their hand, and I'll be watching for that on the camera. And you can also use the raise your hand button on Zoom. Keep your camera turned on. I love to see students' faces. We want to, for participation, to have the camera on at all times. Be respectful and pay attention. We want to continue to learn to respect others and listen when others are speaking, so just be kind and respectful, pay attention. Sit in a quiet place if possible. Um, Try to set up your child on the Zoom calls in an area of your home that is the quietest. And then that way, when I have all the students not on mute, the background noise doesn't become too bad. Um, Try to have good lighting in that area so that I can still see your child's face. Right? Let's go back to our main presentation. Also on this slide, you're going to see this blue square with the letter C in it. That is for clever. If you click on that, you'll be taken to another presentation that actually walks you through all the steps for our students in Stanislaus Union, and it shows you how to log into Clever. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here for you to go through. You go to our school district website and then you follow the links and you'll be able to have your child log into Clever. That's your first step in getting into all of our online learning. So I want to encourage you to go back and take a look at that. And again, I'll be taking questions on this during our back to school night time together. Okay, so back to our table of contents. So new this year for our first graders, you'll be using Google Classroom. And I know that it's going to be stressful at first figuring out how to use Google Classroom, but trust me, I will help you through every step the best I can, and we'll get through it. So I've created this slide here to help you with it. So let's take a look at some helpful tips for Google Classroom. Okay, so your first step for Google Classroom is to log into Clever. And remember a minute ago I showed you the steps how to log into Clever. Now, once you are in Clever, students will begin their online learning by collecting to the internet. You log into Clever with your password, and you will see this page. It'll say D. Boudreaux's page. That's my page. I want you to click on it. And then you will see a link for Google Classroom. It will look like this. Mine actually looks like a bookshelf and it says Classroom. So you'll be able to click on that and it will take you into Google Classroom. And that's where you're going to find your daily assignments. Okay, for homework, we will still have weekly homework and I will go out through Google Classroom. We will be doing math exit tickets each day and they go with the math lesson. Those will be in Google Classroom. Also, each student will work through a list of rainbow words and we'll start off with red and go through the rainbow and then there's a few more. Those are words to memorize all year. We have spelling words each week and we are going to have spelling tests. So your spelling word homework is important. We'll have a reading passage each week that you will have your child practice reading to you, and that's just to build up their reading fluency. That means reading quickly, recognizing words, and being able to read left to right and sound out words they don't know. I could have a whole nother presentation just on that. We do want students to read for 10 minutes each day, and I've included a link here for you that talks about the best way for parents to help your child in that 10 minutes of reading time. So when you're reading at home, we want to build fluency, comprehension, word solving skills, and a love for reading in a supportive, loving environment and using text at an independent level. So we'll be working on sending out text that they can read at each student's ability and building all students up all year. That's our goal in first grade, is really learning to read. So some guidelines for parents: sit next to your child while reading so you can see the words and illustrations. Expect some passages to be easier than others at the beginning of the year. Our hope is that we'll start off with the easy ones and we'll slowly build up. Encourage your child to say the sounds in unknown words. So try to break down the words they don't know, one letter at a time with the sounds, and then blend them back together. Okay. Here's a video I want to share with you that will help you see a little bit more about what Google Classroom looks like and how to use it. Again, this is on the slideshow presentation, so you'll be able to watch this again if you would like to.
Welcome back to another episode of Google Tech Tips. I am Mr. Vaca, and today I'll be going over a very brief tutorial of Google Classroom and all of the awesome different functions and abilities that it has, and some of the questions that both students and parents have asked me over the summer. So to get to Google Classroom, the very first thing that you need to do is log into your Google account. My first step is go to google.com. Once you're logged in, then I want you to click on what I like to call the waffle iron. You'll see that waffle iron in the very top right corner up here. Then you want to search for the icon that looks just like this, Google Classroom. If you can't find it, there might be a little button down below after the last row of apps that says Show More. If you click that Show More, you will then find Google Classroom pop up below. Once you click that icon, you will then be sent to your Google Classroom homepage. This is what a student's classroom looks like if you are in the middle school or high school level, where you bounce between different classrooms for each subject with a different teacher. If you are a elementary or primary student, you will most likely have only one classroom, which means you would only see one box here. Each one of these boxes is a different classroom if you are a middle school or high school student. So let's take a look at one of the classrooms where I am the student. What you want to do is click on the title of the class to go specifically to that classroom. So this is the student view of the classroom. I am a student, a member of the science committee, and the science department chair is the teacher for this classroom. As you can see, right here, the big main section is all of the different posts, announcements, and big items that are coming up in the classroom. This is like what you would say is a Facebook feed or a Twitter feed, where you will see chronologically all the different things or activities going on in the classroom. The left-hand side of the screen is broken into 3 categories. The top box in the top left corner shows what work is due soon, the next upcoming assignments. Right below the work due box, you will then see another section that has classroom folder, classroom calendar, and your Google Calendar. The teacher will put either the syllabus or other classroom materials, maybe their handouts, in the Google Classroom folder. So any materials that you maybe missed if you were absent, you click on that and you will see everything that the teachers posted. They also will have in their classroom schedule or classroom calendar all the different assignments, when they are due, maybe special events in there, and you can then link that through your Google Calendar located right below, so that when you open up your calendar, you can see, hey, this class has this due, this class has this item due, so on and so forth. The final box on the left side, the biggest one, is all of the different topics that are going on in the class. Maybe the teacher has broken it up into different groups. Maybe it's all the different reading groups within a classroom. And so group A will have a specific project that they're working on, or maybe they want to talk about a brand new discussion coming up in the next week. So students can easily navigate the different topics going on in the classroom in this section below. Some teachers will break up their topic section by introduction, syllabus, different projects. Other teachers will have every lesson is a different topic. So your topic section will really be dependent on your teacher. If you want to go back to see the other classes that you are enrolled in, all you want to do is click the 3 horizontal lines in the top left corner, and that will bring another menu down, and you could choose your class right from there. Or if you wanted to go back to the Google Classroom homepage, just click the tab that says Classes. And that's it for today. Google Classroom is a very easy way to keep track of all the different assignments that you have coming up and keep yourself organized. So let me know down in the comments below if you have any other questions or would like me to cover any other topics within Google Classroom. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and don't forget, Work hard, play hard. See you next time.
Okay, so the only thing about that video was that he said to go to the waffle to log into Google Classroom. For Stanislaus Union students, we start by logging into Clever, and then you click on My Page, and then you'll see the icon for Google Classroom there. So always start with Clever, okay? I hope that helps. Well, I hope this presentation was helpful for you. I have tried to cover many, many topics that I think are a big concern, and I know I haven't answered every single question you're going to have, but let me know what questions you have. You can send me email or we can talk live when we have our back to school night. So, I want to just mention I'm not a professional video maker, and I've done my best to try to make sense of putting this together for you, and I hope that it was helpful. So, I am looking forward to seeing you on Monday. August 10th is the first day of school, and on that day, we will actually not have any live Zoom calls yet, but you will be coming to the school to pick up all the school supplies I mentioned, as well as paper materials that we have available right now. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you, and we're going to have a great year in first grade. Thank you.